Hello there, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to PolishLynx Fights with Streamlabs, because this garbage software constantly changes the mic and switches to default for some reason instead of keeping it at the mic. God damn it! Yes, this is like the third or fourth time I'm starting recording because it's happening constantly. Anyway, Katawa Shoujo. Hopefully, we can get to it properly. I open my eyes gorgily, completely bereft of energy. For a while, I simply lie down lifelessly, staring at the ceiling as I review the events of the morning in an attempt to organize my thoughts. It's changed again. It's definitely... No, it's not. Okay. We went to walk to town. My heart nearly gave away. We came back. I took my pills, and I slept. I can only remember each period of time as a snapshot, but the timeline is clear enough. The memory of the girls' faces as I struggled to stand is an unpleasant one, stinging my feelings harshly. If I look at the ceiling hard enough, I can imagine the tile edges and small dimples of the ceiling in the hospital. That fact alone is enough to make me sit up and try to pull myself together. I scratch the back of my disheveled hair, glancing around the room. Lilly and Hanako are nowhere to be seen, and the television is turned off. The clock above it says it's pretty late in the afternoon. The noticeably reddened sky outside the windows confirms it further. Now wait, why do you not pick up this sound? Even though you should, okay. Okay. Now it will be constantly. I will be constantly looking onto get damn bars if it's picking up the sound or not. It is problematic. Technically it should, but yeah, this needs to be a little lower for the game. I turn and pick myself off the futon, swaying slightly as I put my arms out for the balance. I suppose I'd better go look for the girls to see if they are alright. You know, it's really annoying because this is... I can tell this is going to be a good episode regarding the game. And the software literally makes me angry. Hopefully the game will repair it. As I look out the window, I faintly see something in the distance. Straining my eyes, I can just make out the shape of a person's figure. Her long blonde hair swaying the faint breeze makes her almost seem to melt into the bright yellow of the wet field. Without a second thought, I have the room to follow that lone apparition. The brightness of the setting sun assaults my freshly woken eyes, forcing me to avert them until they adjust. The long yellow strands of wet brush against my legs as I wade through them, the densely grown field making it hard to advance. Regardless, my eyes stay fixed ahead, true to that solitary figure. Within minutes, I reach her, meters behind her, turned back. Lilly. She simply nods.
Yes, I'm Lilly.
Where is Hanako?
She's in bed. She went to sleep after I calmed her down.
She says it matter-of-factly, and with as few words as possible, as if saying anymore was strictly forbidden. There is something different about her. Her normally confident figure seems oddly fragile, her body offering no resistance to the breeze blowing her skirt. The strands of wet sway from side to side while a deafening pulse passes, the only sound being their rustling. As we stand in the field alone, I know what I have to ask. What's wrong, Lily? You're not acting like you usually do.
You had a heart attack, man. Remember when I talked of my family, Hisao?
Your family. I look downwards, in thought, sifting through my scattered memories. The event seems to leap ready to hand when I search for it, rising to the surface as soon as it was recalled. After Hanako's birthday party, she gives a single simple nod.
It was nice. Back then, you and I, celebrating with Hanako, simply sharing presents, talking, having fun together. It was almost as if we were a family. One small, misshapen family. I thought that could just go on forever. Just the three of us, happily together.
She takes a long breath, a slight shakiness to it just barely audible through the moving air.
Even if my family was so far away, as long as we were together, that was all I needed. I don't want to lose you,
I wanted to say Hanako.
Hisao. I didn't even realize how afraid I was of losing someone else until today.
I'm sorry, Lily. I know my body is weak, but even then I make the most stupid of mistakes.
Don't apologize. Please don't apologize.
I mean, for technically it was a bit of his fault, given that he didn't take the pills. Lily? She turns to face me, her pale cheeks stained with tears. One misguided step after another, she stumbles towards me, her arms held out in search of so much as a faint brush against me. My heart doesn't race nor pound as I step towards Lily, gently taking and steadying her in my arms as she quickly clutches to me, sobbing. Damn, this is a beautiful view. With her face trembling against my shoulder, the next words from her mouth are the last I expected.
I love you, Hisao. I love you. 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 Don't go away. I beg of you. Never, ever go away. I love you, so please.
So that's why she's been acting like this. That tender voice when I called her. Her thoughtless concern and the slightest pain I might feel. After having been left in Japan without her family, and with only Akira, Hanako and me around, she was afraid of losing yet another person who was close to her. She was genuinely worried for me. It's a strange feeling, a mix of surprise and sorrow, yet also the deepest gratitude I think I've ever felt. The only reaction I can master among my conflicting emotions is a calm sigh.
You idiot. Hisao?
For a fleeting moment, I feel her body become still. The only movement to be felt is the calm afternoon breeze. I said before, didn't I? It's only natural to feel concerned about those around you. I'm still here, and I'll always be here, because I want to see you more each day. To share in your happiness, to support you in your sadness. But most of all, I'll still be here because I want to see your smile. Your true smile. A single gust of wind rustles the long strands of wet. A second silence passes. Smile when you want to smile. Cry when you want to cry. I love you, Lily. So you don't have to hold back anymore.
Actually, maybe hold back a little because you know of his condition.
With that, her arms clutch my back as tightly as she can, her face buried beside me. Her tears fall down my back, and she cries unrestrainedly as the last of her resistance melts away.
Hisao! Hisao! Hisao!
I close my eyes and bring my head down to her shoulder, holding her shaking frame tightly. It's okay, Lily. I'll never go away. I promise.
That's a bold one. Bold promise.
Hopefully it will happen like that. We slowly walk back to the house, holding each other tightly as we take a seat inside. Lilly leans her head onto my shoulder as I put my arm around her waist. Neither of us has any wants to break the silence. With her eyes shut, it's hard to work out whether she's fallen asleep. Not that I mind. The warmth of her body against me, the softness of her hands delicately held in mine. For a long, long time, we sit leaning against one another, sharing our warmth and feeling as night eventually begins to settle in. Lilly's gentle soft voice ends the silence.
Thank you, Hisao.
Thank you.
For returning my feelings.
Did you think I wouldn't?
There was the possibility.
I take a deep breath in thought. That much. Was only my fault, yeah. It's funny actually. I was thinking of telling you about my own feelings sometime soon. I guess in that way, you saved me the effort. She raises her head a little and gives a tiny, amused giggle. I smile at how earnest it is, so girlish in its lightness. She collects herself soon afterward, her hair resting against my shoulder. Feeling a bit better? She gives a small nod.
You are thoughtful, Hisao. That's why I like you.
Oh. I'm sorry I'm like this. As much as I didn't want to make you concerned for me, I couldn't do anything to prevent it.
Don't apologize for it. Please don't.
Another reminder, it was a bit of his fault though, because he didn't take the pills. Again. Lilly?
Have I ever apologized for my blindness, even once? You can help the way you were born, Hisao. There is no point in apologizing for who you are. I mean, still, the pills maybe would prevent it from that even happening, right? Maybe.
Maybe not, but yeah, anyway. She says this with surprising conviction. In the end, it was perhaps this mentality which spurred her to befriend me in such a short time, in addition to her motherly instincts. She did seem to become trusting very quickly, but I'd never questioned why. Now it seems obvious that she did, so to help me as I went through one of the lowest points of my life. I moved to respond, but cut myself off as I feel her fingers run gently through my hair. I feel their soft and delicate touch moving downwards to trace the contours of my face, her palm finally setting on my cheek.
You are a beautiful person, Hisao. Please, don't ever apologize for that.
Same, man, same. For a moment, I'm utterly speechless. That's what I was referring to here now. I slowly bend my head down, placing a tender kiss on her light, voluminous hair. Hair? Okay. We're a couple of right old fools, aren't we? Aren't we? What? Aren't we?
We are.
After long calm, she speaks again.
Hisao?
Yes?
I wouldn't mind if you... His heart can't take it!
Spare me the... Need to edit this. I feel her hands dancing under mine. Trembling slightly, my mouth opens, but try as I might, I can't formulate a response to her proposition. They will kiss only, okay? That's it. That's nothing else will... That's it. That's right. They will kiss. And that will be it. Lilly. Before I can say another word, she slips her hand from under mine and tenderly holds the side of my face once more.
Please.
I give a peaceful smile, holding her against my cheek as I nod a single time.
Okay.
As I look at her eyes, she leans towards me, her delicate lips touch mine as she guides herself with her hand. She breaks off not a second later, faintly smiling. Told ya it was only a kiss.
I love you, Hisao.
We kiss again, this time with both of us meeting the other. While the previous kiss was one of love, this one is one of love too. Okay?
We don't need to get into details.
After precious seconds we part, both our faces well and truly flushed. Both of us bring our fingers to our lips in unison, recalling that fleeting feeling, rapidly becoming buried both by our urges and bashfulness. They kissed for the third time and went to sleep. We are keeping this version, okay guys? That's the version. After being woken by a sound, I opened my eyes with a measure of reluctance. Ugh. Turning my head to the left, I find the rain outside sweeps against the windows loudly. Spray after windblown spray lashes against the glass, as if trying its hardest to make up for the summer's previous heat. I step in the futon, holding the back of my neck to try and soothe the pain from my awkward sleeping position. By all accounts, I should be lamenting the turn in the weather, given that this is our last day here. The events of yesterday refuse to stop flooding my mind for. Same man. The feeling of holding Lily's crying body in my arms. The rush of... well, basically the kissing. It seems almost futile to try and rationalize everything that happened. In an attempt to distract myself, I groaned and leaned over to retrieve my bag without standing. Pulling out one bottle after another, I take the daily regiment's worth of pills from their containers and swallow them without further ado. Yeah, you better do that now, man. It took a surprisingly short amount of time to get used to swallowing pills without water.
This guy's crazy.
That said, I suppose the same thing goes for getting used to living in a school for disabled students. Remembering Yamaku, I become all the more grateful for having a chance to get away, even if just for the shortest of times. I appreciate the chance to spend time alone with Lilly and Hanako, away from the bustle of school life, even considering the latest complications. I never thought I'd say it, but the idea of living away from the city is nice, tranquil. Oh, okay, in a nice, tranquil area is an inviting one. It's a thought that barely a year ago would have seemed simply ludicrous. Let's do it, though. For it's kind of risky. A flash of pink noted that Hanako's gown peeks from around the corner. Realizing I must look aside since I have only just woken up, I slap dreaming pills into my mouth and run a hand through my hair.
Yeah, because that will help. Good morning, Hisao. Good morning, Hisao.
I replied to her, completely forgetting that I'm in the middle of swallowing a particularly large pill, coughing and spluttering. I won't gag on it.
Hisao.
After spluttering loudly and tapping my chest a couple of times to force it down, I managed to recover.
I'm fine. Sorry. Forgot I was swallowing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I hold my hand, gesturing for Hanako to stop. I gagged. It's my fault. Morning, Hanako. She paused a moment before bowing in reply. Staggering in behind Hanako is the familiar figure of Lilly, also dressed in her pajamas. With her eyes full of sleep and her bedraggled, she's a sight to behold. Hi, Lilly.
Good morning, Hisao.
For a while, a silence hangs in the air as neither of us know what to do. Given that what happened last night, we both have more than enough reason to be finding the situation awkward. Just how are we meant to react to meeting each other after something like that? After kissing 3 times? The best course of action would be probably to talk to Lilly alone to set things in order. Yeah, you say that. How do you say that to... about... you know, the relationship? Okay, I think Hanako gets the gist that they are like... yeah, those two will be together. Anyway, I'll start making breakfast, yeah. Lilly evidently catches onto my train of thought.
I'll help. Hanako, could you set the table?
She nods, her head disappearing into the cupboard as she quickly goes about her assigned task. Again, this is so scarily accurate to my kitchen. I mean, not the same, but the placement of things is so freaking similar. Like in the center, the goddamn oven and so on. Actually, I don't have the paper on the left, I have it on the right. But I have like sugar and some spices over here, yeah. I don't have any cutlery out. It's in the drawers, but whatever. But the microwave also have on the right side. The scary part is actually that right corner cupboard is with a window. It's the same. I also have a cupboard with the window over there. What the hell, man? Anyway, I rub a little more sleep out my eyes as I wander over to the fridge and take out some milk, and Lilly grabs various brightly colored boxes from some of the lower cupboards to my side. While we make the rather blunt-looking meal, I whisper somewhat more quietly than usual, knowing Lily's hearing she won't have any trouble catching what I say.
Are you okay, Lilly? After last night?
She gives a delicate nod, her expression weak. Though her tiredness surely plays a part, she seems genuinely unsure about what's happened between us and how to move ahead. I can't blame her considering my feelings are the same.
I'm sorry, Hisao. I wasn't thinking straight yesterday. I never stopped considering you Hanako, and I even went as far as...
She's winding herself up. With her hands and voice both tightening, I give her a gentle bump to try and lighten up the situation. You don't have to apologize. I said I liked you as well after all. No, you said you loved her.
But I...
As her composure begins to falter, it becomes obvious there is no alternative. Then Hanako enters. Come on guys, I've heard everything! And turning to Lilly, I gently embrace her tall frame. She offers no resistance at all, thankfully pulling back just from the edge of her emotions. Despite our original embrace, lasting only a matter of seconds, I notice Hanako wordlessly watching. The plate in her hands covers inches above the table, her reaction halted midway by the side. Oh. Okay. The clatter of utensils against plates is the only sound to be heard as we silently eat. Whereas before only two of us may have been unsure of ourselves, the entire situation has changed. After weeks of blissful friendship, whiling away the days with shared meals and chatter with little meaning, the relation of Lilly and me, no, that of all of us has irreversibly changed. I mean, technically I can still reverse, do some different choices, but I can't take this. Lilly. She solemnly nods, gently laying her spoon on the plate in front of her. Neither of us knows exactly how we regard each other, let alone how Hanako would view us.
This might seem abrupt, but I've confessed to Hisao.
For a moment, Hanako looks almost confused. Precisely the reaction I thought she would have. She eventually nods, her spoon still in her mouth as she does.
Did you accept? I did.
She gives a smile so large and so earnest I find myself blushing. I think it's the brightest I've ever seen her expression look.
Then I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. I'm sorry for not telling you anything about before. Things have been...
Hanako shakes her head from side to side emphatically, apparently forgetting in her rush that Lee couldn't possibly notice. She begins fiddling with her fingers, looking a little more nervous than she did before.
To be honest, I began to think you might like each other a while ago. At first I didn't really know what to think about it, but I I decided that if my friends are happy, then I am happy. I was really glad to have another friend when we met Hisao, so you finding love through him is even better, right?
A feeling of relief and acceptance of our relationship falls over me like a wave. The same happens to Lilly, judging by her expression. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanako. I really appreciate you being so understanding.
Lily's voice still sounds slightly apologetic, or at least unsure. This doesn't escape Hanako, who appears lost in thought for a few moments before turning to me.
Hisao, do you mind if I and Lily go outside for a bit?
Wasn't it raining? Oh, no, feel free.
Hanako?
In pajamas? Okay. Hanako gets up from her seat, taking his hand and almost dragging her from the table in her excitement. Considering Lily's typically slow and steady pace, Hanako's haste makes her footing awkward and she almost loses her balance a couple of times. It's a pretty amusing sight, leaving me wordless as I watch them disappear out the door. It's only now that I realize their rain stopped. Okay, being replaced by a sky seemingly all the more vivid and bright to make up for the morning's drab grey expanse. Oh, the smell on the outside must be amazing. The smell after rain is great. For Hanako, this must be a pretty big revelation. Lily and I are really the only people she associates with, almost as if we were parents in her own stead. I suppose that might well be the best way to describe the relationship with her. A father, a mother, and daughter. I think I described those three like that as well, by the way. All playing around in our little make-believe family as if it could last forever. Why not? It might be a strange dynamic, and one that certainly can't last for long. Why not? But maybe just for this one small moment. It's okay. No double clicks. God damn it. As I stand from the table and go to join Lynn Hanako in the field outside, I note to myself in affirmation. This one small moment of happiness, no matter how brief, will last with me. With all of us. Forever. With us as well, by the way. Submerged deep in the hot water, I let a drawn out sigh escape my lips. The feeling of seemingly every muscle in my body relaxing is euphoric. I have no idea how long it's been since I had a genuine hot bath. Years. But right now I can hardly be bothered trying to remember. Maybe I'm giving the simple fact that for once I get to have a real bath more credit than it's due. The chance to just calm down, allow myself to unwind and have some time to myself is a welcome one. Hanako, Lily, and I wandered about outside, exploring the extent of the surprisingly large tract of land surrounding the house. Then we spent the majority of the afternoon resting, watching television, reading, and playing cards. It may not have been the most exciting finale to the trip, but such tranquil peacefulness is something to savor. Even after we return to the school tomorrow, I think I'll remember this little house in Hokkaido for a long time. It's a pity. We only have a couple of hours to spend here before going to get the train back. All I can do is yawn contentedly while I watch the steam slowly rising from the clear water's placid surface, my eyes eventually locking onto the ceiling. Our exams are imminent. I've barely studied all for them. On top of that, I don't even know what I do after graduation. Passing exams is all well and good, but to what end? Also now of all times I'm getting into a relationship.
What the hell am I doing?
I guess I shouldn't think like that. What's done is done, and maybe this could be viewed as just another aspect of my new life that I'm working on. I enjoy being with Lily, and there is more to life than school and the career after all. As I busy attempt to rationalize all that's happened, I hear a series of raps on the door. I pick myself up and sit upright, trying to figure out the source. 3. No more and no less. So, like usual in the game, light yet assertive in their tapping, and timed regularly enough to tune a metronome. I'd be extremely surprised if it wasn't Lily.
May I come in?
Yeah, it's Lilly. I'm studying above, I'll be out in a sec.
I know.
The voice coming from the other side of the door frees me. After a second's thought, I rest on the side of the bath and let my arms dangle over the side. Despite trying my best to play it off, I can't help letting my mind wander.
Sure, come in.
With that, she opens the door, slowly walking in the room and closing behind her. She looks coldly calm, countering my racing heart.
Hey, Lily. Do you mind if I take a bath with you?
Mind, go ahead. And the intermission saves the day. Anyway. I'm thinking like end the episode will continue tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed and hope you have a wonderful day. And you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. Lilly will be top girl. At least top 2. Okay? I think. She's wonderful, man. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.